Odin is troubled. For the longest time, he has known that the end of the world is coming. He has known of a great final battle between the gods and the giants, leading to the destruction and death of all that is. Prophecies and predictions have illustrated a future with nothing but doom. The first prophecy came to pass with the impossible death of Balder at the hands of Loki. Loki is consigned to a prison under the earth for his crimes. But with this event, the gods know there is no escaping Ragnarok. To prepare his defense for the end of days, Odin has spent a great while selectively choosing the mightiest human warriors to fight with him in his battle against the giants. These chosen mortals, the Einherjar, feast and train in the halls of Valhalla until it is time for them to be called upon. The gods know that it is very likely that all of their actions are in vain. In Midgard, there have been 3 years without summer or spring, only a cold, dark, and lifeless winter. No warmth or green or light or joy, just an endless, unimaginable cold. As the days grow colder and colder, the peoples of the earth abandon their bonds of kinship and their traditions. They war amongst themselves for whatever is left of the world. Fathers kill sons, mothers kill daughters, sisters fight together on the battlefield, are slain, and their children fight each other over their bodies. Humans have turned from the gods and from each other to become like wolves. Soon after the fighting and the desolation, the sun is blotted out. It has finally been caught and eaten by the great wolf Skull, who has chased it along the sky for many years. Skull smatters the sun's gore across Asgard. The moon is then consumed by Skull's brother, Hati, and the stars of the night sky disappear into nothingness with it. The earth has become an endless realm of dark and cold. From this comes a period of terrible earthquakes as the realms shudder within Yggdrasil. These quakes destroy all bonds and break all chains, crumbling whatever places there are left for people to live. Jormungandr is the great colossal snake who lives in the oceans that border the earth. He writhes in a fury and moves closer to the lands of Midgard, causing floods and catastrophic rises in the tides. Jormungandr's venom fills the seas and poisons the fish and animals of the water. He then spews his venom into the sky like a mist, killing all the birds. As Jormungandr writhes, he unearths the great ship Naglfar, the largest ship in existence. Naglfar is the ship of the dead and is made of the fingernails of those who have died. Loki and his other son Fenrir are chained up by Odin Allfather. The earthquakes of Midgard break their bonds and they escape from their prisons. The pair set out on a path to destroy the 9 realms. Yggdrasil, the life tree which supports those 9 realms, trembles. The creatures from the realms of Jotunheim and Muspelheim are on the march. Among these giants is Loki, helming Naglfar over the flooded seas of Midgard. Loki leads a legion of undead from Hel. These are the people who died dishonorably. Alongside him is the unfathomably large Fenrir, bottom jaw wedged into the earth and upper jaw wedged into the heavens. Everything in Fenrir's path he devours as he moves. Naglfar is captained by Hiram, the leader of the Frost Giants. His Jotunheim brethren and the armies of Hel are his crew and his dead weight. Surtur, the being of flame who existed before all things, leads the burning sons of Muspelheim alongside them. These creatures burn what is left of the sky as they march. Surtur's blazing sword of fire is brighter than the sun itself. The giant army march over the Bifrost, destroying it. The legions make their way towards the final battlefield, which is 300 miles across. The battlefield is named Vigrid. The gods are in a deep and long-lasting slumber whilst all this is happening. Only Heimdall is awake amongst them. Heimdall is the far-seeing watchman of the gods, standing sentry on the walls of the great fortress of Asgard. Heimdall peers into the long distance and sees what is occurring in Midgard. He feels it is time to act. Heimdall raises the great Gjallarhorn to his lips and blows into it with all of his strength. The horn rumbles the roots of Asgard, and it signals to Odin and the other gods to awaken and prepare for battle. The gods assemble under Yggdrasil and are both alerted and in despair. Beside Urdswell, Odin asks the head of Mimir for wisdom and guidance. Mimir whispers the future into Odin's ear, giving the powerful Allfather a glimmer of hope. The world's tree quivers again as two mortals find sanctuary inside of it. The gods and the Einherjar, the warriors Odin selected to defend Asgard, don their armors and clasp hold of their swords and shields. From Valhalla's great halls churn the great Viking warriors of old. Out of its 540 doors, 800 soldiers pile from each, creating a great host to fight off the armies seeking to destroy the Nine Realms. Odin brandishes his spear, Gungnir, and places a golden helmet on his head. He leads the great host and his godly brethren to the battlefield of Vigrid. Odin sets off on his horse, Sleipnir, to immediately do battle with the massive wolf Fenrir. Thor moves to wrestle the Midgard serpent, and Frey seeks out Surtur. Tyr, the one-handed former friend of Fenrir, finds himself locked in combat with Garm, the deadliest of all dogs. Finally, the Einherjar do battle with the forces of Hel, led by the turncoat Loki. Without the sword he gave to Skirnir in the past, Frey is no match for Surtur. Surtur carries a gigantic sword of flame, and his huge, powerful swinging attacks burn even when they miss. Frey is the first of the gods to fall. Odin grips his spear tightly and fights with Fenrir. He thrusts Gungnir into the wolf's gaping mouth, but Fenrir overpowers him and snaps it in half with massive jaws. Fenrir launches an attack immediately afterwards and swallows the Allfather Odin in one gulp. Odin, the most powerful and wisest of the gods, is dead. Vidar sees the death of his father Odin and steps in to avenge him. One of Vidar's feet is a leather boot made from all of the spare cuttings of leather shoes in history. Vidar wedges Fenrir's lower mouth open with his enormous boot and rips Fenrir's upper jaw away, ending the terrible wolf. Thor, the protector of Midgard, fights with Jormungandr. With one powerful strike, he crushes the serpent's skull with his hammer. Thor is victorious, but only manages to walk 9 steps from Jormungandr before succumbing to the snake's venom. The god of thunder falls to the ground, dead. Across the landscape are littered the final bodies of the forces of Hel and the Einherjar. Of the two sides, only Loki, Heimdall, and Surtur remain. Loki berates Heimdall for being too slow to react to him and joyfully exclaims that he has won the battle to end the world. Heimdall, stern and unflinching, strikes Loki hard with his bloodied sword. The god of mischief reacts in turn with his own foray of ferocious strikes. Finally, the pair fall to the ground beside one another, wounded mortally. Loki again proclaims himself the victor, and for the first time, Heimdall smiles, his golden teeth smattered with blood. Heimdall tells Loki that he can see much farther than him, as far as the world's tree. Heimdall tells Loki that 2 people have hidden themselves inside the safety of the tree, and Surtur will never be able to reach them there. Their names are Leif and Leifthrsir, or Life and Life's Yearning. Further still, many of the children of the gods still live and will survive Surtur's rage. Loki has won nothing. Surtur lifts his burning weapon into the heavens, and fire spreads ferociously across the 9 realms. Asgard, Midgard, Jotunheim, and Niflheim become infernos. His sword cremates the earth in a blaze of flame. After the fire dies, all that remains are lands of black, frozen ash. No animals, no men, no revenants of hell. No Einherjar warriors or giants or elves or dwarves. With nothing left alive, the oceans engulf the skyless realm, and the primordial void of Ginnungagap that once dominated the universe is restored once more. But this is only the end. There is also what happens after the end. From Ginnungagap, the earth is created once more and rises from the ocean. It is a green and fruitful land full of corn that was never sown and animals that were never born. The sun's daughter, who was born just before the sun was killed, burns over the new skies even brighter and warmer than her mother. Leif and Leifthrsir emerge from Yggdrasil and make love, birthing mankind anew. In the New World, there are lands of goodness and lands of evil. The greatest of these lands is Gimli in heaven, where the rulers live in peace. There is also Brimir of Okolnir, where the earth is warm underfoot, and Nidafjall, built from red gold. However, there is also Nastrand, the shore of corpses. This is the place in the underworld where murderers, philanderers, and oathbreakers wade through rivers of poison. In the former fields of Asgard springs a new eternal land named Idaval. Vidar and Vali have survived Surtur's flame and the great floods. They make their way to this beautiful new land. Modi and Magni, the sons of Thor, greet them there, carrying Mjolnir between them. Neither are yet strong enough to bear the burden of the mighty hammer alone. Balder and Hod are released from the underworld and eventually find their way to Idaval as well. The six of them talk and reminisce on the past. Exploring the new land, these deities find glimmering pieces from a chess set depicting Odin, Thor, Frey, Surtur, and others. The new gods line up these pieces to play, and Balder makes the first move.